Alright, welcome back. Dirty Drew's Kitchen, back again. Start of baseball season. Let me get started with the stuff, get this out of the way. We swear a lot. Fuck, shit, piss. Music belongs to the original artist, not me. Buy my cookbook, Make Her Love You More. You know what happens. Alright, it's February, we're about to get to the beginning of baseball season, and we're drinking beer, and what goes with beer? Big soft pretzels, and that's what we're going to make for you today. Everybody loves a big soft pretzels. You dip them in mustard. I'm going to tell you all the ingredients in a minute. What's different about my big soft pretzels? Fucking bacon gets chopped up, fresh bacon, and put in Dirty Drew's big soft pretzels. They're almost done. Okay? First thing we're going to do, without cutting, we're going to go to the ingredients. What you need is flour. I use wheat flour because I still consider myself a half a fat fuck. Alright? You need salt. I use Himalayan sea salt. Healthy. Doesn't raise your blood pressure, they say. And yeast. The salt is going to go in the flour. The yeast is going to go in this bowl. Water. When you put the water in here, I'll tell you how much in a few minutes. 105 to 115 is the temperature. I'm a kitchen master, so I don't need a thermometer. But you might need to use one, or your yeast will not rise your dough. Okay? Let me get that started. Kosher salt, just to go over the top. I can't use a Himalayan sea salt because it's got a grinder on it. I'd be using it. Sugar. It's going to get mixed into the flour and the salt. Sugar is one of the things that activates your yeast. Okay? Butter. It says to use vegetable oil. It's not good for you. So we're going to use butter to line the bowl while the dough is rising. We're going to knead this dough by hand. I need the dough. We're going to knead it by hand. And then when we're done, we're going to take the leftover butter, which also already has some bacon grease in it. We're going to brush the pretzels when they come out of the oven with a brush. Mixing spoons. Before it goes in the oven on these pans, they're telling us to a couple of cups of warm water, dissolve a 1/4 cup of baking soda in here, and when you get around to forming your pretzels, you're going to dip them in there. It's going to be just lukewarm, but it has this in it, and something it does, it creates that crusty top that you like in the pretzels and the pretzel rolls, and it's a big thing right now, pretzel rolls. Okay, so we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to turn that on right now so it gets started. Okay? It needs to dissolve this stuff. So we're going to bring it to a simmer and then shut it off. This bowl. This is going to be our mixing bowl. So we're going to start off with the 105 to 115 temperature water in this bowl. The other bowl is going to have your flour, salt, sugar mixture in it. Okay? When this is all done later on, you want to give it an egg wash. So when it goes on the pan, I'll get to it after, we're going to egg wash all our pretzels. When it comes out of the oven and it's sitting and it's done, we're going to give it a butter wash. Keep brushing it with butter, okay? This is what they're telling us to do, and we want to do what they're telling us to do. Parchment paper, not wax paper, not foil, not saran wrap. Parchment paper. Go to the store and find it. Local grocery store. So, parchment paper has to go down in a sheet pan before it goes in the oven. Excuse me. So we have the water going. I am going to put my 1 cup of hot water. No, I'm doubling my recipe. So I'm going to use 2 cups of hot water and then put my 2 packets of yeast in there. And then it's going to have to sit for 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to bubble, it's going to foam, and then the yeast is ready. And by then, I will have, I'm doubling this recipe to make like 1.5 dozen pretzels. So there's a method to my madness with these pretzels. because in 2 weeks, Big Bad Biker Bill the brewer, he brews his own beer. It's amazing. He's coming over here in a couple weeks to do a show on stovetop, boil your own beer. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's why this is kind of like part 1 of 2. We're gonna make these pretzels. I'm gonna freeze some of them, and when he comes back to do this beer special in 2 weeks, stovetop, brew your own beer, we're gonna have pretzels to dip in mustard and stuff and eat. So we'll be back in a few minutes to get on with the show. All right, we're back. Working on our big, soft, bacon-stuffed pretzels. First thing we want to do is get the yeast activating. I'm going to use my sink water. I know that my hot water heater's turned up to 120. So I'll let it sit for about a minute. It'll drop 5 degrees in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to cut these packages open of yeast. Okay. 2 packages because I'm doubling the recipe. The recipe is for 8 pretzels, 8 big pretzels, but yup, got a lot of friends, so I'm making 16. I'm gonna put this over here. That's about as hot as it's gonna get here. It's almost hot. And the recipe calls for 1 cup of water. I'm doubling it, so I'm gonna give you 2 cups, which is this full container here. I was thinking about taking me out to the ball game usually, but we're gonna pass on that. I'm gonna let my water cool off for a minute or 2. Next thing we're gonna do is, the recipe's telling us for 2.5 cups of flour, which I got wheat flour. Again, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never made these before, so like I said, this is as real as the kitchen gets. We don't screw around here. This is a measuring cup. 2.5, doubled is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop at 4. I'm going to fill the 5th cup all the way. And I'm going to put it off to the side just so we get our dough right the way we need it. We dump it all in there and it's too much flour. We could add that when we need it after. Okay, in the flour. What did I say before? 1 tablespoon sugar. Okay. 1/2 tablespoon of salt. This is Himalayan sea salt. What we also want to do is take a whisk and whisk it up. You know, I lucked out. There's no there's no balls in my flour. Flour, you got no balls. So we're good. Let's get rid of that. Put this off to the side for a minute. Drink a beer. Okay. In your 3rd bowl, remember, this is the bacon grease mixed with butter. We're lining this bowl up. Okay? Because when we get the dough all mixed up and we put it in here, you're going to need, like I said, it's telling you vegetable oil, but vegetable oil is not my thing. Put this butter aside. Put it on the stove over here where it's going to stay nice and warm, because we're going to brush off our, when the pretzels are done, we're going to brush the top of them right when they come out of the oven nice and hot. See that? Shiny. Put that off to the side. Like this. Put it over here. Actually, I'm going to need to wash this brush because this brush is going to get used for the egg wash before they go in the oven, and the butter brush when they come out. We boil the water. It's nice and warm. That was 2 cups of water and 1/4 cup of baking soda. And we're going to dip each one in there once it's formed, and then we're going to put it out on the pan. It's going to give it that nice crust. along with the egg wash. It's gonna be beautiful. And then when it comes out, butter brush, soft. So we have this. I think the water's good. Okay. This is 2 cups of water. You don't gotta do anything crazy. You just want to put it in there. I'm gonna give it a little stir. You're not supposed to stir this. You're not supposed to beat it up. Now, in 5 minutes, it should be foaming. We're gonna leave it here because we pretty much have nothing to do for the next 5 minutes till your yeast and water mixture gets foaming, and then we're gonna add this to it. If it's too wet, you know what dough looks like. Buy it pre-made. We all do it. Here's your other cup of flour you're gonna add to it. If you use that 5th cup, and you see that it still needs more, I know, you all turn your head sideways to read my shirt. So, you owe me. But I'm gonna give 5 minutes for this to start foaming when the yeast is ready to go. Checking out our bacon. We like our bacon crispy. I think our bacon is gonna, you know, it'll cook a little more once it gets in the pretzel. I'm gonna leave it in the oven for a few more minutes, so it's almost well done. This water is ready to go to dip, and when we come back, we're gonna actually make the dough, mix it up. I'm gonna use this wooden spoon to mix it, but once it's mixed, we're gonna knead it with our hands. I need it! All right, we're back. Pretty much anybody can make these things. What makes us different, besides we're weirdos, is bacon. Cover that up, the yeast, keep it nice and warm. Spatula here. Bacon off here. We love bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? Raise your hand. I can't see. It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. All right. I'm gonna chop the bacon and get it ready to go in the dough. And probably gonna stink a few pieces for myself. So, be right back. We're halfway there, almost halfway there. Cut up the bacon, chopped up the fresh bacon. It's going in the flour, salt, sugar mixture. Okay. Bacon's the best. Remember the bacon grease and the butter that we line this bowl with for the dough to go into when it goes into a warm space. When it goes into, I'm just going to put it in the oven. The oven's not on. It has to be between 70 and 80 degrees for this dough to ferment. The fermentation process, the gases build up, it rises. Then you take it out, you punch it down, you work your dough, you put it in a whatever shape you want to put it in, and then it proofs. So there's fermentation, the original gases come up, you punch it down, let those gases out. When I was in the military, in the Navy, I was a cook on a submarine, we would punch the gases down, breathe in those original gases from fermentation, and get high as fuck for like 30 seconds. Serious rush. That's what they do in the military. Okay, bacon's in here, salt, sugar, flour, wheat flour. This is our yeast mixture. It's going in there. Put the whole thing in there, okay, like that. You're gonna mix it up. It looks like we are gonna need more flour. We're mixing it a little bit with a wooden spoon, and then we're gonna knead it by hand. So, okay. We're getting there. We're not there yet. see, 2 3/4 cups. Almost there. Probably need a half to another cup of flour. All right, let's see what we got here. It's almost to the point now, it's time to start using my hands. Start kneading this dough. Sprinkle a little more flour in there. You don't want to overmix this dough. You just want to incorporate all your ingredients together. Okay? Done with the spoon. Clean hands. Last shot of flour. I'm going to show you what the dough looks like in a minute. It's bread dough. It's basically bread dough. What makes it different is bacon, of course. There's nothing like bacon. Okay. Ew. I need another drop of flour. Alright, so we ended up with almost about 6 cups of flour, which is a little over double the recipe. Kneading the flour, turning it, twisting it, kneading the dough. Alright. Now, remember this bowl over here, as I bring it over my shoulder, remember this bowl that has the oil in it, not oil, but bacon grease mixed with butter. This wheat pretzel dough, okay, has bacon in it. Alright, let me get it all up our fingers. So, we have 3 to 4 pounds of dough here. Remember, this dough fermentation process will not rise unless you get a 70 to 80 degree atmosphere for it. I'm going to put it in the oven, nice warm temperature. Quick wash of the hands. Now nothing's quick when you got dough on your fingers. So, also in this recipe, you want to do, you want to brush the dough one more time. I am going to brush it with a little more bacon grease from the pan. A little butter bacon grease mixture over the top. So, leave that aside for brush it when it comes out, when it's all done. Here's your dough, all greased up and oiled, going in a nice warm spot. We're going to cover it with saran wrap. It's got to stay warm. You're not covering the bowl, you're covering the dough itself. Okay, I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'll come over in a minute to show you. See? You're covering the dough. Okay? So let's put it in a nice warm spot. And I'll see you in an hour when we punch the dough down and we start forming our pretzels. Alright, switch the music over to Pink Floyd. I'm paying attention to my dog barking. People walking by. Alright, the dough doubled in size. I punched it down, took a whiff. Here it is. We're going to cut it into pieces. It says to cut it into like equal pieces. You see what it looks like, dough? I'm going to cut it as it's coming out of there into pieces. You know, size that I want. And I'm going to start rolling away. I'm going to do one for you. Remember, flour down. We're going to roll it out. We're gonna make it into a pretzel. We're gonna dip it in this warm water and baking soda solution. Pull it out, and on the greased, the butter mixture with the bacon grease on top of the parchment paper. We're gonna lay it all down like that, okay? Then it's gonna get wrapped over the top with saran wrap again. First process, fermentation. Second process, proofing. That's where it rises, and then you start cooking it. So, let's get started. Okay. We got some flour down here. I'm going to roll this thing out. There's flour's flying everywhere. Okay, can you see this? Alright. Now, what do we got here? Alright. I'm not much of an artist, but I think it goes like this. Wait, let's try that again. Alright, I've never done this before. Crimped here, crimped there. Okay, crimped here, crimped there in the middle. Now what I say we're going to do, we're going to scoop it up here. Okay, dip it in here in the water, just a quick dip. Warm water. Just going to give it that coat. We're going to lay it down on the pan. That's one. These are not going to be perfect the way you see it at the ballpark, but that's one. I'm going to start rolling the rest of them. And when we come back, we'll go to the next step. That was one. I'm going to get rolling on the rest. Just wanted to check in with y'all. And we're going to start with something a little bigger than the size of a golf ball. Here's your pretzel. Ooh, there's bacon in it. Crimp there. Crimp those two spots. Can you see this in here? We're laying them down. Okay. Now they're going to rise again. They already fermented, and then they're going to proof. So I got a little bit of flour in this pan, a little bigger than a golf ball. The golf ball to a little bigger. You know, not quite a baseball size. We're going to roll them out. Hopefully you can see me rolling. You see me rolling. We're baking. Alright. Alright. This has got bacon in it. It's got bacon grease in it. Down on the pan. Okay. That's one tray. That is one tray. Can you see it? One tray of pretzels. Put that off to the side. We got my second tray ready to go. I actually got three. I got 4 trays if I needed to, and then we're gonna brush them in a minute with a bunch of different stuff. So don't forget, have a little extra flour on your counter like this, and I'm just gonna keep rolling away, and we'll be back to show you the next step in a minute, motherfuckers. All right, almost there. I can't say grand finale yet, but this is the part where we take this warm water, okay, and it's mixed with baking soda, and we brush it. We brush it real good. Well, because that's what the recipe says to do. Gives you a nice coating when it's done. I mean, we're brushing it really well, okay? Douching it as you will. We're doing this. When we do this, okay, let me finish one pan before I do the rest. They're all made up into my little ugly looking pretzels, and I'm no artist. I can cook and I can bake, but I'm no artist. So, this is what we have. So all brushed with what we're supposed to be brushed with for now. At this point, we're going to take saran wrap. Now we have that. The saran wrap is going to go over the top of this. Come on now, don't mess with me. Saran wrap's going to go over the top of this as it went over the dough in the beginning. So remember, fermentation, that happened already. Now comes proofing. They're going to double in size, pretty close. Okay, we're going to put these off to the side in a nice warm place so they double in size. I'm going to finish brushing the rest of these, and when we come back, I will get to the final thing we have to do, which is going to be the egg wash. It's 1 egg with some cold water. We're going to brush that on, then it's going to go in the oven and I'll take you through that. Back. All right, we're almost there. Home stretch, people. These have proofed. Can you see them? Can you see? Egg wash. Eggs in cold water with your brush. A light brush. Okay? You're not going to brush them with butter until they immediately come out of the oven. We're going to get to that. This dough is really, really soft. It's almost coming together to form one bun. Like that fast food restaurant that gives you a sandwich on a pretzel roll. Okay, that's one. That's another pan here. You still see the liquid in these pans from that when we brushed them with the baking soda and warm water mixture, which is supposed to give them some kind of nice golden brown coat when they come out. So that's two. Oven's heating up. Final one here. Look at these. These are big badass pretzels. These are dirty drewz. We're going to call them dirty bacon pretzels. Look at that. I see the chunks of bacon in here, and I could smell the bacon in the room from these pretzels. And well, that one looks like E.T. Going home, motherfucker. Doing as quick as we can here because they're going in the oven. Now, off to the oven. See? Pretzels. Here we go. The oven is at 450 degrees. 450 degrees. We're going to do 10 to 12 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Okay? And that's that. When they come out, we're going to brush them with butter immediately. And once they're brushed with butter, you know what? Eggs, butter, it's all there. I'm eating this in the morning, so I'm going to put that in the fridge. We're going to brush them with butter immediately when they come out and sprinkle the kosher salt on top. Okay? So, be back in 10 minutes. Alright, putting the buzz on. Before we get done, got the sea salt ready. Got my mustard ready to dip. Got my butter wash for the top immediately when they come out. Let's get this out of the way. We don't always do it. We try to. DDK shout outs. First shout out goes to Alan Barbosa Tattoos. Check him out. Does all my work. Great guy. Sam and Megan Manning. They're at the Texas Barbecue Competition. Miss you guys. Nicole, the camera bitch, filling in for Rockin' Rich, the camera bitch. We miss you, Rich. Miss my bromance. And quick shout out to Kenny and Butchie, working real hard in Ivoryton, Connecticut. So, be back in a minute. I'm going to show you how to brush these things off with butter and then sprinkle them with sea salt, and we're done. Be right back. This is the grand finale. Okay, hopefully you all can see this. These are wheat pretzels. Do they look like what you get at the ballpark? No, they don't. That's white flour. Is wheat flour better for you? It's the lesser of the two evils. And we got bacon in here. When I tell you guys, we're going to brush these up real quick, put them off to the side. Brush. You want to do this quick because, right? Get that salt on there after you brush it. Now, you want to get them out of here quick because what's happening is they're going to dry out. So you want to move quick. Brush the shit out of them. Researching this, I read, brush it, keep brushing them until all the butter's gone. Because the more you brush, the more the butter's going to soak into this dough. Okay? This is wheat dough. It's going to be a little more crusty than your white dough. But is it good for you? No. But it is less bad than white flour. These are hot. Now, here we go. Now, we're at the final brushing here. Some of these came together. As you can see, my dog is in every show just about, sticking his nose around there because he smells something good. Well, like I told you, brush it till it's all done. Keep brushing till it's done. The more butter you put on here, when these things come out of the oven hot, the more it's going to soak it up and turn into those soft pretzels that you get, okay? They're softening up already. I can tell when I'm brushing them. Okay, they're soaking it up. All right, now, almost done. Just about done. All right, we're gonna dump it on there. We're good. Now, while they're still a little bit wet from the butter, sea salt. The other sea salt. We got bacon. We got wheat flour. We got bacon, grease, wheat flour, sea salted, big salt pretzels, Dirty Drew's Kitchen. Okay? We get a dish over here. We're going to take this one over here, move some stuff around. Beer, mustard, nice and crispy, but soft on top. Bacon. Yes. There's bacon in these wheat pretzels. There's bacon grease in these wheat pretzels. Sea salt in the wheat pretzels. Thanks again for watching. Easy to make. Try them at home. Wheat and bacon. Not the worst.